What's up, guys and gals? Um, well, we're back with part 3 of my 4-part, which is probably going to end up being a 5-part series about how to deal with cast iron pans, cooking with them, cleaning them, keeping them safe. I don't profess to be an expert on it, but I would like to I'm just sharing what I do know, if anybody still cares. All right, in the first video, I taught you how to clean one. I taught you how to. Someone cleaned it, and so I taught you how to get the rust off of it, then get it prepped, and then put one layer of seasoning on it. Then in the next video, I showed you how to cook with it. You know, start with a sear, move on to your other ingredients, throw it in the oven to finish the job, make you a big family meal. One pan, one plan. In this video, this is still chasing the dragon of the perfect seasoning. I'm going to show you what happens if you cooked with it with one seasoning on it and then threw it in the sink and didn't wash it immediately. This one was tough for me to do. I don't mind leaving pans in the sink or dishes for overnight. I cooked. If nobody else is going to clean those dishes, I don't give a shit if they sit there. But you don't do that with your freshly seasoned cast iron. And I'm about to show you the heartbreak of what happens when that goes. So let's hop into it, and I'll show you what to do. All right, if you look here, we've got, it's just caked on gross from a couple days ago. It's not. And then there's just this fucking nasty thick layer on the bottom. Yeah, it's good and gross. So the first thing you want to do is you want to turn the stove on and let it get warm. Don't let it get hot. Just let it get warm. Let it melt any grease that's on there. Let that get melted so it's easier to come off. Once you get it hot, you need like a thick, what you can see in here, like this isn't just kosher salt. This is like goes in a grinder salt. It's pretty heavy. And just like a scrubbing pad, but make sure that when you squeeze it, the stuff that comes out is not soapy. You want it to not be soapy, not a soapy pad, just a scrubbing pad. All right. Okay. We got our pan a little warm. You can touch it, kind of. That might have been hotter than I want, but once you throw some water over it, it'll cool off. And you want to put a generous amount of this salt in here. And you want to start scrubbing it right before you put water in it. So you scrub it pretty deep and pretty hardcore around all the edges, and then splash you some water in there to get all the fine details. All right. Alright, here's our finished business. Just be sure to inspect all the way around on the inside. Make sure you got all the gunk off. And you can't see, I left a little bit right there, which I'm going to go back and get. But if you look, it's all pretty smooth all the way around. The bottom's pretty good. The edges are good. You don't have any rust or anything chilling on the bottom of the pan. None of that. So, from here, we do just like we did in the first video. You turn the flame on a lower heat. You let it heat up and make sure it gets all the water off. Since the 90s at this rate, I'ma be rapping till I'm 90. DC born and PG raised. I'm at the one on this site for running PG plays. I'm the rudest but truest Lucas you ever seen. You the messiest. And would you look at that? Doesn't look like we seasoned this pan at all. Man, what a waste of time. Actually, it's not really a waste of time. You only seasoned it once. You washed everything that was years and years and years were off that pan that wasn't one seasoning that you washed off. You washed off layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of build up deliciousness, and now you got to start all over. So for the next several times you use this cast iron, you're going to have to wash it immediately after you finish, cook with it, wash it immediately, and then re-season it again until you get a couple of good solid layers on there that will stay with it, and it won't look like this sack of shit after you're done with it. So, take your pan, make sure it's completely dry. There's no wet spots or water spots on it anywhere. Everything is good. It's not wet, that's just old. It's not actually wet. And you're right back at it. Grab your flaxseed oil or whatever your high smoke temp oil is. Liberal amount. Wipe it in, let it sit, then wipe it off.
Back from the dead to reclaim my shit. To the studio straight from the crypt. Lock loaded and I'm fully equipped. To hit sick as a bitch can get cutting its lips while I flick my wrist. I'm about to moonwalk on it. There's a walk in the park, I'm dogging it. Got bars like a gym, this light look close. I don't even break a sweat while squatting it. I took off just like they rocket shit. This beat's like Steve, I'm hawking it. Cause my all is just not from earth. If I beam down and rap, you might as well put a white chalk in it. My rhythm got rhythm, my flow's got flow. I rep that 6 OTTO. That's 3 times 2, that's 2 plus 4. This doctor got reversible. Shout out to Tech, that tour was dope. Chris Calico taught me the ropes. OG reverse, that spells all go. Which I must do now on my own. I can't stop, I do the opposite. When it looks like I'm on the bottom, I'm really on top of it. When they all said I left, I was right in the heart of it. I can't help but to think I'm the hardest way. Scientifically, I'm lyrically infused with the godliness. I don't want to say it, but they've never stated the obvious. I am the
Alright, there we have it. Got a pretty decent thick layer here in the middle. A little thinner on the outside. But we're good to go. Take it over here to the oven, which is as high as it'll go. Mine will go to 550. If yours only goes to 500, that's cool. It's fully preheated. Yeah, don't burn the shit out of yourself. Alright. Bowl side down. Let it rock for 1 hour. Alright, we'll check back and see how it goes. Alright, folks, we've hit 0. We're gonna hit clear off, turn that off. You see it in there, it's looking kind of shimmery and shiny. Jesus Christ, it's hot. Shimmery and shiny. We're just gonna leave it in the oven until it gets done. I did some really dumb shit. So I got bored and I made an apple crisp. Right? Took like 20 minutes to whip together. Some apples, cinnamon, sugar, some granola with some butter and some coconut oil. Whip that together, put it on top. And I was like, oh, why did I do this? It's gonna take 2 hours. So the hour to finish this, and then the hour I leave it in there afterwards. And I'm just sitting here pissed off that I decided to make it. And then my dumbass remembers that there's 2 ovens. So we're gonna put this apple crisp in right now that I've been waiting for 30 minutes to put in because I just now realized there's 2 ovens. Get it done, girl. Alright, if that wasn't real clear, you leave it in the oven for an hour, you turn the oven off, then you leave it sitting in there for another hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, however long it takes to get cool that you can reach in and grab it with your hand, not with a towel, till it gets cool enough that you can reach in and grab it with your hand, and then it's done. And for real, I was on some dumb shit waiting for that fucking oven to finish. There are 2 ovens in this house. Okay, just reach in and grab it with my hand. It's still kind of warm, but it's mostly there. You see we've got the same sort of reaction that we had last time. So it's still not done, it's just one coat, but if you notice it's not sticky. Everything's fine, everything's straight. Looking good on the bottom. So, successful run. Yeah, so good to go. That's how you do it. I mean, this is basically the same thing as the last video, but it's not that intense of a clean. So, next time you use this pan, cook with it, wash it immediately, dry it off, throw your seasoning on, throw it in the oven for a couple hours, and repeat until you've done that 4 or 5 times. Now you could just put a whole shitload of oil on it and do it once, but it's going to come out sticky. And I don't like it being sticky. So you could cheat, or you could do it the right way. That's just my opinion. So I guess that's it. I'm going to be done here, and I'm going to add a pic right here at the end for anybody that was interested.